This is 8.2 Health Consultation Client 2. There are controllable and uncontrollable variables to my client Sue. The controllable variables being the weight and size of her. These can be controlled by the amount of exercise and her diet that she is having, as if she is not doing much exercise and not a balanced diet, then her weight is going to go up from the amount of fat that she is putting on, and vice versa. If she is doing a lot of exercise and having a balanced diet, her weight will be less and her size will be less. The uncontrollable variables are genetics and gender. Your genetics make your appearance, and that cannot be changed, and same with your gender. You were born with this gender and can't be changed. Here we have the normative data for the heart rate check test, and we also have a graph representing Sue's scores in this test and comparing them to the normative data. Here we can see that Sue had a resting heart rate of 79. From the normative data here we can see that Sue's heart rate is in the category for a normal adult's heart rate. This is good, as Sue's heart rate is at a good level. This means that we don't have to worry about the possibility of her having a heart attack. We can also see from the graph the average, the below and above average. We can see from this that Sue's heart rate is only one more beat than the average. This is really positive for Sue and shows that her heart rate is a good place at this time. From this graph we can also see that she is very far away from being below average, as hers is 79 and to be below average you have to be at 54 or below. Sue's resting heart rate of 79 is just over 10 beats less than being above average, as to be above average you have to be at 70 beats or above. If you are over 100 beats, then this is threatening to you and you would need to seek help straight away. This is good that Sue is far away from this point and has a healthy heart rate. Here we have the normative data for blood pressure, and we also have a graph comparing Sue's results to what her blood pressure is and what it should or shouldn't be. Here we can see from the graph that Sue's blood pressure is above hypertension. This is the case for her systolic and diastolic pressure and is very worrying, as it's not just above average, it's a lot above average. We can see this as if you have a blood pressure of 130, systolic blood pressure is above the ideal blood pressure, and Sue's is at a blood pressure of 138. This shows us that we will have to monitor her blood pressure and try and get it down. Sue's blood pressure will be high due to the poor diet she has and putting on weight from this. It will also have to do with how little exercise she participates in, so therefore we will have to get her in a healthier diet and get her into doing more exercise on a regular occasion. She will also have to limit the amount of alcohol intake, as this plays a big part in her blood pressure being too high. We will also have to show as much salt as possible, as this will not be easy, and help her with the amount of stress she has, as this does not help and can make things worse for her blood pressure. Here we have the normative data for the body mass index check, and we also have a graph comparing her scores for her BMI to the averages and below and above. Here we can see that Sue's BMI is at 28, and at 28 that means that she is overweight, as to be overweight you have to be between 27 and 30, and 28 is. This is worrying for Sue, as she is in the overweight section, which is unhealthy for her and can lead to further risk. Sue being in the overweight section will be due to her poor diet and all the fast food that she's having in her diet. It'll also be because of the little exercise that she is doing. This is where she's putting on a lot more fat and not working off the fat afterwards, so then she's just gaining fat. Therefore, we're going to have to get Sue's diet back to being balanced and not as much fast food and proper cooked meals, and also get her doing a lot more exercise that she's doing, so she can already burn off the weight that she already has and stops her from putting on more. Sue's level at 28 is only one more than being overweight, so despite it being worrying that she is overweight, she isn't far off being just below overweight, so therefore it's not as bad as it seems. Here we have the normative data for the lung function check, and also a graph comparing Sue's results to the averages. Here from the normative data we can see what Sue's average should be. We know that Sue is 172 centimeters, so that is around here as it is in between the yellow and the blue line. We also know that she is age 42, so therefore we have to match up here at 42, and it shows us that she should be at an average of about 440. Here we can see from Sue's score that her average score from her results was 472, which is a lot above the average. Being above the average isn't that worrying as it would be if it was below. Also, being above the average isn't a bad thing as it is not healthy, as it doesn't mean it's not healthy, it's just above the average. We will just have to keep monitoring Sue's lung function just to make sure that it's not dropping at all or going up even more, because if it's going up even more then we might find that there might be something wrong if it's a lot above the average. Here we have the normative data for the waist to hip ratio check, and also a graph comparing Sue's results to the ideal one below and above that. Here we can see from the normative data on the right that Sue's score of 0.82 is in the moderate risk stage. This is worrying as it is a moderate risk and not even a low risk. This will mean that we will have to take immediate actions on this as it is a high risk to her and is very unhealthy for her. This would have been caused by the poor diet and the little exercise that I've already told you from. It'll also be from the alcohol intake, as it will put a lot of weight on for her and then make her waist to hip ratio higher. We will have to take effects of improving her diet and improving the amount of exercise that she participates in. It is also very worrying that she is very close to a high risk, which means that we need to take these effects very soon. To summarise Sue's heart rate, it would be to say that it is just at a perfect average, and for the normative data, it is just in the middle of the normal adult stage, so it's very healthy. To summarise Sue's blood pressure, it would be that it's at a very high risk and needs to be looked at very soon, as it is in the high potential stages with her systolic and diastolic, and we will have to take immediate effects with this. To summarise Sue's body mass index, it would be that she is overweight due to the amount of weight she has put on, and therefore that we will have to take effect of the amount of exercise that she is doing and her diet and get it more balanced. To summarise Sue's lung function is that it's not at an unhealthy stage, but it's a lot above average for her size and her age, which is not a bad thing. To summarise Sue's waist to hip ratio, it would be that it's at an unhealthy stage and that she is at quite a moderate risk and is close to being at a high risk due to the weight she's been putting on. Here we have the consultant's summary of the strengths and weaknesses for the goals, physical activity, nutrition, lifestyle and physical health. Her strength for a goal is that she has a very clear vision of what she wants, and she knows how long she wants for a long-term goal, and she knows what she needs to do to complete it. However, her goal consists of her appearance for her whole body, and she says that she'll be measuring her appearance by the way she's looking, so it will be done by human eye, which isn't as reliable as something like doing tests on what she wants to improve. So therefore we might not be able to know how well her improvement is going, and therefore it might slow down the process as we won't know if certain things are improving her or not. Her strengths for her physical activity is that she is interested in participating in more squash and possibly taking up something new, which is good because it'll be different elements of sport and will help her with different exercises. Despite this, at the moment she doesn't do any exercise and is very unfit, so it's going to be very hard for her to get into this, and especially doing more than one sport. And she says that she doesn't have much time, so it's going to be hard to factor in lots of different exercises. Her strength for nutrition is the amount of water that she drinks, as she drinks 2 to 3 litres of water a day, which is the required amount for the average human, which is good, as if she's doing a lot of sports she's going to be sweating a lot, so we'll need a lot of water, so it's good to get into a good routine with this. Despite this, the weakness is that she doesn't eat much fruit or veg, to the fats that she has, and she has a lot of ready meals instead of made meals, which is very unhealthy, and this shows that her diet is not balanced, so that's even more unhealthy for her. A strength for her lifestyle is that she doesn't smoke. This is very good for her health and her lungs, as smoking is bad for her and is bad for her fitness levels, so she's going to be able to compete in a lot more fitness than she would be if she had been smoking, as it makes her not be able to do as much exercise due to getting tired. Despite this, her weakness is that she only gets 5 hours of sleep and not very deep sleep, so therefore she's tired most of the time and stressed out, and when she's stressed she deals with this by drinking alcohol, which is unhealthy for her. Her strength for her physical health is that she has never been injured, so therefore hopefully her body will be fit enough to stick to the program and we won't have any delays in her progress due to injury. Despite this, she hasn't been taking part in exercise, so her body might not be used to this and she'll be unfit, so she'll be aching a lot at the beginning of the program. The first weakness that we are looking to improve is the amount of exercise that she participates in. She doesn't take part in any exercise and she also doesn't have much spare time. Strategies to improve this will be: we will have to get her a routine plan for every week that she will stick to the plan every week. The routine plan will have to go around her work in her free time, and we just need to make sure that she'll stick to it and that she's doing enough exercise in this plan and doing various different things to improve various different parts of her. The third weakness is her diet. Her diet is very poor, as she mostly eats fast foods for dinner, and she doesn't eat much fruit or veg and eats a lot of fat, so therefore her diet is very unhealthy and not balanced. This is bad, as it means that she will be putting on weight due to this, and therefore making her lifestyle so much more unhealthier than it needs to be, especially if she's going to be wanting to do all this exercise. She's going to be needing to eat the right food to replace the energy that has been released, and not by replacing it with more carbs, but by replacing it with protein foods like chicken and turkey, and then fruit and veg and other stuff to make her diet balanced. The ways that we will improve this is to make a diet plan for every day and for her to stick to this, and we'll make sure that this diet plan is very balanced, so she's getting a bit of everything. And we'll get her to monitor everything she's eating, and that we will review everything to see if she needs to cut down on anything or add anything in. And we just need her to stick to her diet plan, and of course she'll have snacks and so what, but we need to limit these snacks and make them as healthy as possible. The third and final weakness that we will look to improve is her sleep pattern, as she only sleeps for 5 hours a night and not very deep sleep, which is unhealthy for her. She'll be tired a lot and not be able to do much exercise. Ways to improve this would be getting an app to monitor it. A good app for this is Headspace, as it tells you how long you've slept for and how deep your sleep has been. We should also get her to go off her phone and all devices before going to sleep, as it will let her brain relax and make her be able to have a much more peaceful sleep. The third strategy that we will use to help her improve this is setting up a timetable. This will be good, as it will make her be able to stick to a certain routine and make her body get used to a routine, and that will be healthy for her as her body will be used to how much sleep she is getting and will help her a lot.